Listen to this every day to fix your life speech. Fix your life starting today. If you're hearing this, it's not a coincidence. You're here because there's a part of you that knows you're meant for more. You're not here to simply survive. You're here to live, to rise, to evolve, to become something greater than you've ever imagined. So today, I want you to make a decision, not tomorrow, not next week, right now. This is the moment everything changes. Let's begin with the truth. Your life is your responsibility. It's not your parents', not your friends', not society's. The life you're living today is a direct result of the choices you've made that can either scare you or empower you. And if you're ready to fix your life, it needs to empower you. Because if you created this, then you can create something better, something incredible. It starts with ownership. You can't change what you don't claim. Stop blaming, stop complaining. That energy is wasted. Use it to build, use it to grow, use it to take the first step forward. Let me ask you something. What do you really want? Not what others expect, not what you're supposed to do. What does your soul crave? That vision in your mind, that life that lights you up inside. That's not fantasy, it's your potential calling you. And you know what? You already have what it takes. The problem is never ability, it's belief, it's fear, it's waiting for the right time that never comes. So stop waiting, start moving. You don't need a perfect plan, you need action. Every master was once a beginner. Every success story started with a decision. You've just got to move. One step, one page, one workout, one habit at a time. Those small choices, they build empires. They change lives. And yes, you'll feel resistance. That voice in your head will whisper, "What if I fail?" Let it whisper. Then respond with action. Because fear doesn't go away, it gets quieter the stronger you become. Discipline will take you where motivation won't. Motivation is a mood. It comes and goes. But discipline is a lifestyle. It's waking up early, even when you're tired. It's doing the work even when no one's watching. It's choosing progress over comfort every single day. That's how you build a life you're proud of. And let me tell you this. You're allowed to start over. You're allowed to rebuild. You're allowed to outgrow people, habits, and versions of yourself that no longer serve you. Growth is not comfortable, but comfort is the enemy of greatness. Protect your mind. What you consume, what you read, watch, listen to, and who you spend time with shapes who you become. Surround yourself with people and content that feed your potential, not your doubt. Guard your mind like your life depends on it, because it does. Wake up with intention. Move your body. Fuel yourself with good food. Learn something new every day. Write down your goals. Speak life into yourself. These small disciplines are acts of self-respect. And practice gratitude. You can't hate your life and build a better one at the same time. Gratitude is not ignoring your pain. It's choosing to see the light anyway. It's training your mind to find the lesson, the strength, the beauty, even in the struggle. Because the truth is, your worst day has made you stronger than you know. And your story, it's not over. Now let's talk about people. Some will support you, some won't. Some will cheer, some will doubt. It doesn't matter. This is your journey. Let them talk, let them judge, keep building. One day they'll ask how you did it, and your answer will be simple. I didn't quit. And that's the real secret. You don't have to be the fastest or the smartest or the most talented. You just have to be relentless. Stay consistent, stay hungry, stay focused. No matter how slow you go, no matter how hard it gets, if you don't quit, you win. Your future is being written right now. Every choice you make today shapes tomorrow, so choose wisely. Choose courage over fear. Choose growth over excuses. Choose discipline over distraction. You want to fix your life? Then wake up every day and ask yourself, what would the best version of me do today? Then go do it, even if it's hard, even if it's uncomfortable, especially if it is, because that's how transformation happens. It's not in the big moments. It's in the thousands of small decisions you make when no one's watching. It's showing up for yourself when it's easier to stay down. It's learning, failing, adapting, and rising again. So from this moment on, carry this with you. You are not broken, you are becoming. Your past doesn't define you, your mistakes don't disqualify you, your pain is not permanent. You are powerful, you are capable, you are worthy of a life that feels good to wake up to. But no one is coming to save you. You are the hero you've been waiting for. You are the answer to your own prayers. You have everything you need inside you, right now, to fix your life. So take a breath, stand tall, and begin. Because this is your time, this is your day, and this is how you fix your life, by living like it matters. Your thoughts shape your reality. What you focus on expands. Speech, the power of thought, build the reality you deserve. Let's begin with a truth so simple, yet so powerful it can shift the direction of your entire life. Your thoughts shape your reality. Let that sink in. Every single day, whether you're aware of it or not, you are constructing the world you live in through the thoughts you allow to live in your mind. Now, some people hear that and shrug it off. It can't be that simple, they say. But if you look closely at your life, the results you've gotten, the people you attract, the habits you've formed, it all stems from one place, your mindset. Your thoughts are not just little whispers in your head, they are commands, seeds, and whatever you consistently plant grows. That's why what you focus on expands. If you constantly focus on what's wrong, what's missing, what you don't have, guess what? Your life begins to reflect that. Your brain starts scanning for more reasons to feel like a failure, more reasons to feel stuck, more reasons to be afraid. But when you flip that, when you begin feeding your mind empowering beliefs, bold visions, and positive energy, you're not just thinking positive, you're reprogramming your brain. You're creating a new lens, and through that lens, a new life emerges. Here's the truth. You are not your thoughts, but your thoughts can become you if you let them. So the question becomes, what kind of world are you building in your mind? Is it one filled with doubt, fear, and limitation? Or is it one filled with confidence, vision, and possibility? Understand this. Your mind is always listening, always watching, always adapting. And the language you use with yourself, those words you repeat silently day after day, becomes your internal environment. Over time, it becomes your external reality. If you constantly say, "I'm not good enough," your brain doesn't argue. It looks for proof. It rewires your behavior to match that belief. It sabotages your growth. Not because you're broken, but because your mind is just following orders. But if you start to say, "I am capable, I am learning, I am becoming stronger every day," the opposite happens. You begin to act with more courage. You take more aligned action. You begin to expect more from yourself and from life. This isn't magic, this is science. Your brain literally builds new neural pathways based on repeated thought. What you rehearse mentally, you attract physically. That's the power of your focus. Where attention goes, energy flows. Think about it. Have you ever wanted to buy a certain car, and suddenly you start seeing that car everywhere? That's your brain's reticular activating system, RAS, in action. It filters the world through what you tell it is important. Now imagine applying that same filter to your goals, your dreams, your highest self. Imagine waking up each day with thoughts like, "I am in control of my future. Everything I need is within me. Today I move one step closer to the life I want." You don't have to believe it 100% at first. Just start saying it, think it, focus on it, because what you focus on, you feed. And what you feed grows. This is why guarding your mind is essential. What are you feeding your brain? Is it negativity, drama, distractions, fear? Or is it knowledge, inspiration, discipline, clarity? Social media, the news, toxic people. These are all mental fast food. They might feel good in the moment, but they leave you mentally bloated, spiritually drained, and emotionally empty. Start feeding your mind the mental nutrition it needs to thrive. Read powerful books. Listen to empowering content. Surround yourself with conversations that uplift you, not deplete you. And most importantly, be conscious of your inner dialogue. We all have that voice inside, the one that narrates our entire life. The problem is, most people let that voice go unchecked, and most of the time it's not even their voice. It's a blend of opinions, fears, and doubts passed on from others. So take the mic back, Challenge the thoughts that hold you back. Don't just accept them. Investigate them. If you hear, "I'll never be successful," ask, "Says who? Based on what?" If you hear, "I'm not good enough," ask, "Compared to who? And why would I believe that?" Because here's the deal. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your beliefs. You can set massive goals, make vision boards, write down plans, but if your mind is infected with limiting beliefs, you'll sabotage yourself every single time. That's why fixing your thoughts is the first step to fixing your life. You can't outwork a negative mindset. You can't grind your way to success if your mind is constantly whispering that you don't deserve it. So how do you start shifting? Begin with awareness. Notice your thoughts without judgment. Replace the limiting ones with empowering truths. Repeat affirmations that align with your vision. Visualize the person you want to become daily. Act in alignment with those thoughts even if they feel uncomfortable. And over time, something incredible happens. You stop waiting for motivation. You stop needing outside validation. You start creating momentum from within. You begin to believe not just in an idea, but in yourself. Because the truth is, you were never broken. You were simply believing thoughts that didn't belong to you. You were living someone else's story, but now you get to rewrite it. And when you do, when you take control of your focus, your beliefs, and your thoughts, you take control of your life. Your thoughts are the blueprint. Your actions are the bricks. And your mindset is the architect of it all. So build wisely. You want to change your life? Start by changing your thoughts. Start today. Start now. Speech, the power of small steps, the secret to lasting success. Let me ask you something simple, but important. What if I told you the most powerful force behind success isn't talent, luck, or genius? What if I told you the real secret is something much quieter, something far less flashy, but something absolutely unstoppable? It's this: small steps. Every day, consistently. You see, most people overestimate what they can do in a day and underestimate what they can do in a year, in a decade, in a lifetime. We live in a world that worships speed. Everyone wants overnight success, instant results, quick fixes. But the truth? Success doesn't work that way. Real growth takes time. Real transformation comes through steady effort, not sudden leaps. It's built in the small, quiet decisions you make when no one's watching. It's formed in the daily grind, the mundane moments, the times you choose progress over comfort. That's the power of small steps. Every great achievement you admire, every author who wrote a best-selling book, every athlete who broke records, every entrepreneur who built an empire, they all started the same way, with a single step, and then another, and another, and another. Tiny actions, repeated over and over, until the world had no choice but to notice. Success is not an event, it's a process. It's what happens when you show up every day, even when you don't feel like it. It's waking up early to train, staying up late to study, saying no to distractions, making the hard choices that nobody sees but everyone eventually benefits from. And yes, it's slow. Sometimes painfully slow. You won't see results right away, you'll question yourself, you'll want to give up, and that's where most people stop. But if you understand the compound effect, the quiet force of small actions, you'll see that every tiny effort is stacking in your favor. Every workout adds strength. Every chapter you read adds knowledge. Every dollar saved adds security. Every time you choose discipline, you're casting a vote for the person you want to become. Even when it feels like nothing's happening, something is. You're laying bricks. You're building a foundation. You're gaining momentum. Think about it like this. If you improved by just 1% every day, you wouldn't just be 365% better by the end of the year. Thanks to compounding, you'd be nearly 38 times better than when you started. That's the power of patience. That's the power of persistence. That's the power of daily effort. Now, here's the other side of the coin. Small steps work both ways. Just as small good choices build success, small bad habits slowly destroy it. Skipping one workout turns into two. Eating one junk meal becomes a weekend binge. Procrastinating on one task snowballs into a missed deadline. It's subtle. That's what makes it dangerous. Because failure doesn't happen overnight either. It creeps in slowly while you're distracted, while you're making excuses, while you're telling yourself it's just one time. That's why discipline matters. Discipline is doing the thing even when it's boring, even when it's hard, even when no one will notice. Because you notice. You know what's at stake. You know what you're working toward. And you know that every small step is part of something bigger. So if you're building a dream, keep going. If you're on a journey to better health, keep going. If you're trying to master a skill, build a business, heal a wound, change your life, keep going. You're not behind. You're not slow. You're not failing. You're compounding. Let the others chase shortcuts. Let them burn out chasing hacks and instant gratification. You're playing the long game. You're building something real, something lasting. And trust me, there will come a day when people look at you and say, wow, you're so lucky. They won't see the early mornings, the late nights, the small wins, the quiet consistency. They'll just see the result. Let them, because you'll know the truth. You earned it. One step at a time. So what now? You start. Not next week, not when it's perfect. Today. You drink the water. You do the push-ups. You open the book. You make the call. You take the walk. You start small, but you start. And tomorrow you do it again. And the next day and the next. You stay consistent, even if you don't feel motivated, because discipline beats motivation every time. You give yourself grace when you stumble, but you get back up, because that's what champions do. And you trust that the process is working, even if you can't see it yet. Let me leave you with this. You don't have to make giant leaps. You don't have to do everything at once. You just have to keep taking small steps every day. That's how success is built. Not by magic, not by luck, but by movement. Steady, simple, relentless movement. And if you commit to that, if you stay the course, one day you'll look back and realize you've climbed a mountain, and it all started with a single step. Speech, start where you are. Use what you have. Go. Let me tell you something that could change your life if you truly take it to heart. Stop waiting. Start doing. Because waiting is a trap. It feels safe, it feels logical, but it's where dreams go to die. We wait for the perfect time, the perfect plan, the perfect opportunity. But here's the truth. There is no perfect time. The right time is a myth. The stars will never align exactly the way you want. You'll never feel completely ready. There will always be doubts, fears, and excuses. You don't need perfect conditions. You need movement. You need action. You need to start now. Because action cures fear. Think about it. What's that thing you've been avoiding? That goal, that dream, that change you know you need to make, but keep putting off? Maybe it's starting the business, getting in shape, speaking your truth, writing the book, taking that leap. And what stops you? Fear. Fear of failure. Fear of judgment. Fear of not being good enough. But here's the secret. Fear doesn't go away with time. It goes away with progress. It dissolves in motion. When you move, when you act, you prove to your fear that it has no power over you. Every step you take forward, fear loses a little grip. Every time you do the thing scared, you build confidence. Courage doesn't come before the action, it comes because of the action. You think the most successful people were fearless? No, they just acted anyway. They didn't wait until they felt strong. They built strength by starting. Starting is the superpower. It separates dreamers from doers, talkers from builders. It's the line that divides those who watch life happen from those who make life happen. And I'll be real with you, it won't be perfect. You'll stumble, you'll mess up, you'll look awkward, but so what? Perfection is the enemy of progress. Perfection is procrastination in disguise. You don't need to be perfect, you just need to be in motion. You can course correct, you can learn, you can evolve. But none of that happens until you begin. Start where you are. Use what you have. Do what you can. Too many people wait for more knowledge, more money, more time, more clarity. But let me tell you, you don't need more resources. You need to be more resourceful. You've got something right now that's enough to take the first step. Maybe it's your passion, your grit, your story, your fire. That's your fuel. Don't underestimate it, and don't overcomplicate the process. Success doesn't come from one giant leap. It comes from small, consistent actions repeated over time. One email, one workout, one bold conversation, one choice to show up when you don't feel like it. That's how change happens. That's how fear fades. That's how momentum is built. Because once you get in motion, something powerful kicks in. Belief. You start seeing progress. You start stacking wins. You start proving to yourself that you are capable. And once that belief sets in, you're dangerous in the best way. Unstoppable. Because now you know what you're made of. Now you're not waiting anymore, you're creating. And creation is where magic happens. Every business you admire, every athlete you celebrate, every legend you respect, they were all built through action, not intention, not potential, action. The world doesn't reward what you think about doing, it rewards what you actually do. So if you're stuck in a loop of overthinking, overplanning, doubting, break it. The only way out is through. The only way forward is movement. Even a baby step is better than standing still. Because standing still, that's where fear grows. That's where anxiety lives. That's where dreams rot in silence. Don't let that be your story. Don't let your best ideas die because you were scared to be a beginner. Don't let your potential fade because you were waiting for someone to give you permission. Give yourself permission to try, to fail, to get back up, to get better, to win. It doesn't matter how slow you start, it matters that you start. And don't listen to the voices that say, you're too late. You're too old. You're not smart enough. You don't have what it takes. Those voices are liars. They're echoes of insecurity. They don't know your power. They don't know what you've survived. They don't know what you're capable of when you finally bet on yourself. And now is the time to bet on yourself. Not tomorrow, not next week, now. Because time is ticking. And the longer you wait, the heavier the regret becomes. The pain of failure is nothing compared to the pain of never trying. So today, make a decision, start the project, have the conversation, hit send, make the call, book the trip, show up. Even if you don't know all the steps, even if your hands shake, even if your voice trembles, do it anyway. That first step, it's everything. It breaks the cycle. It tells your brain, we're doing this now, and your life starts to shift. Because once you're in motion, opportunity finds you, momentum finds you, growth finds you. But it all starts with one brave moment, one simple choice. Stop waiting, start doing. Speak, protect your energy, the power of letting go. Let me ask you a question that might just shift your entire life. Who or what is stealing your energy? Because the truth is, not everything you're connected to is helping you grow. Not every person deserves a seat at your table. Not every voice in your life deserves your attention, and not every environment deserves your presence. If you want to level up, you have to clean up. Clean up your space, clean up your mind, clean up your circle. Because here's the reality. You are a product of what you surround yourself with. Your environment influences your energy, your thoughts, your focus, and ultimately, your results. You cannot build a positive life around negative people. You cannot chase greatness in a space that celebrates mediocrity. Protecting your energy is not selfish. It's necessary. It's survival. It's success. You have dreams. You have goals. You have purpose. And if you're constantly drained, constantly doubting, constantly second-guessing yourself, it's time to look around and ask, what's feeding me and what's depleting me? Because not all influence is loud. Some of it is subtle. It's the friend who always doubts your ideas, the coworker who gossips and complains all day, the family member who tells you to be realistic, the partner who doesn't support your growth, the social media that constantly makes you feel less than, the toxic habits you've normalized. These things may seem small, but over time they chip away at your belief. They plant seeds of fear and frustration. They create a cloud over your vision, and you can't fly with anchors tied to your wings. So here's your challenge. Start auditing your life ruthlessly. Ask yourself, who drains my energy? Who do I feel worse after talking to? What habits keep me stuck? What environments kill my creativity or joy? And once you have those answers, do the hardest but most powerful thing. Cut it out. Walk away. Set the boundary. Not with hate, not with drama, but with love for yourself. Because your peace matters, your clarity matters, your growth matters. Some people won't understand. That's okay. Some people will call you selfish. That's okay. Some people will try to guilt you, shame you, pull you back down. That's okay. Let them talk, let them watch, let them stay where they are. But you're going somewhere, and where you're going, you can't carry dead weight. You can't keep watering relationships that only drain you. You can't keep shrinking to fit into spaces you've outgrown. There comes a point where protecting your energy becomes an act of self-respect. It's not about cutting people off with coldness, it's about choosing yourself with clarity. You're not better than anyone, but you are better than the version of you that settles for less than you deserve. If you want peace, be willing to say no. If you want progress, be willing to move on. If you want power, be willing to protect your space. Because what you allow is what will continue. Some people are only meant to be part of your past, not your future. And some chapters only make sense once you close them. Letting go isn't failure, it's freedom. Freedom to think clearly, freedom to grow fully, freedom to live without constant emotional noise. And let's talk about you for a second, not just what drains you from the outside, but what might be pulling you down from within. Because sometimes the negative influence is you, the inner critic, the self-doubt, the fear-based thinking, the old story that says, I'm not good enough, I'll never make it, who am I to try? That voice, it's been lying to you. You are not your past, you are not your mistakes, you are not the opinions of people who never saw your worth. You are capable, you are deserving, you are enough, and you are allowed to protect your energy from anything and anyone who makes you forget that. So starting today, unfollow accounts that feed insecurity, limit conversations that spiral into negativity, create boundaries with people who take more than they give, distance yourself from habits that numb you instead of nourish you, say no without apology, say yes to peace, clarity, and alignment. Your energy is your most precious resource. It fuels your work, your relationships, your dreams, your life, and when you give it away too freely, you become a shell of yourself, exhausted, resentful, stuck. But when you protect it, when you guard it like gold, everything changes. Your focus sharpens, your joy increases, your growth accelerates, your confidence returns, and you attract people, places, and opportunities that match your new vibration. It's not magic, it's alignment. When you're no longer distracted by negativity, you finally have space for greatness. So don't feel guilty for outgrowing people. Don't feel guilty for choosing solitude over chaos. Don't feel guilty for protecting your mental health, your dreams, your vision. You're not wrong for walking away from what no longer serves you. You're wise, because cutting out negative influences isn't just about getting rid of bad vibes. It's about making room for the good ones. It's about stepping into your power. It's about becoming the person you were always meant to be. So today, make the choice not for them, for you. Protect your energy, prioritize your peace, and never apologize for becoming the highest version of yourself. Because the truth is, you deserve that kind of life. And it starts with what you're willing to let go. There's a phrase I want you to hold close, not just today, but for the rest of your journey. Stay hungry, stay humble. That's it. Two simple ideas, one powerful combination. See, in a world obsessed with appearances, followers, and clout, we're told to hustle for success, to chase recognition, to make it. But very few remind us of the real ingredients for sustained greatness: a relentless hunger for growth and the humility to keep learning. Let's start with hunger. Stay hungry means you never settle. It means no matter how far you've come, you're always looking for the next edge, the next lesson, the next step. It's not about greed or competition. It's about refusing to stagnate. Hunger is what keeps you sharp. Hunger is what wakes you up before the world. Hunger is what pushes you to train harder, think deeper, aim higher. Whether you're at the bottom climbing up or already on top trying to stay there, hunger is your fuel. But there's a catch. Hunger alone isn't enough, because hunger without humility becomes arrogance, and arrogance blinds you. That's why the second part of the phrase is just as important. Stay humble. Humility doesn't mean playing small. It doesn't mean downplaying your wins or denying your greatness. No, humility is about staying grounded. It's remembering that no matter how much you know, there's always more to learn. No matter how far you've come, there's always room to grow. The ego wants to be right, but growth requires you to be willing to be wrong. When you stay humble, you become coachable. You become curious. You stop performing and start evolving. You admit when you don't know something, and that's where learning begins. You don't let your resume block new lessons. You don't let titles or trophies blind you from fresh perspectives. You don't talk just to be heard. You listen to understand. Humility says, I'm proud, but I'm not finished. I've achieved, but I haven't arrived. I'm confident, but I'm not above correction. Now put those two together, hunger and humility, and you become unstoppable. You're driven, but not desperate. Ambitious, but not arrogant. Focused on the mission, not just the image. Let's be real. It's easy to lose your way. When you start winning, ego creeps in. You get a little applause, and you start believing your own hype. You stop studying, you stop growing, you get comfortable, and comfort is the enemy of progress. Success is not a destination. It's a moving target. And the moment you think you've made it, you've already started falling behind. So if you want to be excellent, not just once, but consistently, you have to keep that hunger alive and that ego in check. Some of the most brilliant people I've ever known are the most humble. They walk into every room not trying to prove they're the smartest. They're trying to learn from everyone around them. They don't say, I already know. They ask, what can I learn today? That mindset, that mix of ambition and openness is what builds legacies. Think about it. The greatest athletes in the world still show up to practice. The most successful entrepreneurs still read books, ask questions, and seek feedback. The most impactful leaders surround themselves with people who challenge them, not flatter them. Why? Because they know this truth. The moment you stop being a student, you stop growing. So here's what I want you to remember. Be hungry for knowledge, but humble enough to admit you don't know it all. Be hungry for progress, but humble enough to celebrate others. Be hungry to lead, but humble enough to serve. Be hungry to win, but humble enough to lose with grace and learn from it. There's strength in humility. There's wisdom in curiosity. There's power in saying, I can do more. I can be better. I can grow. Don't let titles trap you. Don't let success seduce you. Don't let failure define you. Keep climbing, keep evolving, keep asking the hard questions, and above all, stay true to yourself. Because the people who change the world are rarely the loudest in the room. They're often the most focused, the most grounded, the most committed to something bigger than ego, impact, integrity, purpose. So wherever you are right now, in your career, your craft, your personal journey, ask yourself, am I still hungry? Am I still humble? Am I willing to learn, to unlearn, to grow? If the answer is yes, then keep going. Because that combination, that's the edge, that's the mindset, that's the magic. Stay hungry, stay humble, and you'll not only achieve success, you'll be ready to handle it. Sustain it. Elevate others with it. And that, my friends, is how you win, not just once, but for life.